Yo everybody, how you going there? Steve here from Command Centre Wargaming. And yeah, we're doing a little bit of assembly and painting this weekend, which is really cool. So you probably have just seen my recent video just polishing up those Hydra Elites. And the colour shifting paint is coming out really cool. And I might do some basing for them tonight. And I'll post that up probably tomorrow. Now just a quick reminder to everybody that the 500 subscriber draw is on tomorrow. Now I do have to have a meeting tomorrow very quickly in the morning, so I'm just letting everybody know that the draw might be a few hours later in the day to what it usually is. So yeah, don't stress out if it's not there like earlier in the day, whatever time zone you're in. I'll probably do it like in the afternoon and of Australian time, so it'll be up there and all good. And there's a fair few prizes there we're going to go through as well, so I have to recheck what I wrote down, but I think it was like 4 or 5 Space Marine heroes and a Calgar Victrix Honor Guard box as well, so it'll be really cool. So stay tuned for that one tomorrow. Just remember guys that you got to send me an email within 3 months for that one, basically with your address and your postage details. Otherwise it's null and void. But anyway, all good. So yeah, fantastic guys. So it's good to see there's a few people into the bolt action. You know, I've seen a few people on the channel basically say that, look, they're definitely interested in having a look at this game. I know I am, and don't worry, I'm still going to be playing 40k just as much. I just thought it would be a cool idea to sort of play some World War II stuff as well. And so we'll have a look at this one now, and this is the Panther. Alright, so we've got the Panther Ausf A. Alright, so the Panther Ausf A. Okay, now this is basically a Panther. It's 1/56 scale. It's my first ever model in the bolt action range, so I don't know what's in store for us. So I might just zoom in there and just sort of like have a look and see what's inside the box here, and just play it by ear, you know. I've got no idea about the scale, I've got no idea about anything. So the front of the box here has basically got a Panther on the front. The Panther was a really, really good tank in World War II. It was regarded actually to be probably the best German World War II tank actually, in terms of efficiency and stuff. Now, personally, I love the Tiger. I like both the Tiger 1 and the Tiger 2. But realistically, they had a lot of engineering problems and that, as one of my friends, Adam, always likes to point out. Not you, Adam Fox, there's another Adam. So, and he always trolls me about the German tanks not being able to run properly. But anyway, so it's German engineering in the house, so all good. But I just love the tanks of the Germans. I just always have. It's just, you know, they're just so intimidating, and they name them all after animals. And you know, there's a few documentaries I've watched which basically say that the Tiger tank was literally built more as a psychological terror weapon than an actual tank itself. So, you know, the thing would set soldiers running before they could even see it. The engine was like that sort of loud that when they could hear it coming off in the distance, people just packed up their stuff and ran at first. So anyway, but that's a Tiger. This is a Panther. The Panther was kind of like more towards the T-34 class of tanks. So it was very powerful, but it had a lot of speed as well. It wasn't as powerful as the Tigers, obviously, and stuff. But like a lot of people have said that. You know, if Germany kept building these tanks, if Germany kept just building these Panthers, they might have had a lot more success in their battles against the Russians, because there would have been more tanks running around. I think the statistics were that like it cost like 7 times the amount to make one Tiger than what it cost to make one of this. So you could have had like 7 Panthers running around per Tiger. Now you imagine that, so you imagine you had like, you know, 500 Tiger tanks, times that by 7, those are a lot more tanks. So yeah, but anyway, very good tank. There's a little bit of a history lesson on the back here. I might just read it out just quickly because I'm actually interested in this as well. So, the discovery by the Germans that the Soviets had highly effective medium and heavy tanks spurred on their designers to produce a well-balanced medium tank that had excellent armour, fast speed and a hard-hitting gun. The result was the formidable Panther. Despite its heavy, sloping frontal armour, impenetrable to many allied guns, it could still reach top speeds of over 30 miles per hour. Its main advantage, however, was to be found in its superb long 75mm gun, arguably even more deadly than the feared 88mm gun. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure the 88mm is what they used to put on the Tiger. Yeah, still, like, I didn't know that, so there you go, learned something new. This gun could knock out all but the heaviest Allied tanks, even at extreme ranges. The Panther was produced from 1942, and alongside the older Mark IV was the standard main battle tank of the late Panzer forces, proving to be a ferocious opponent on the battlefield. Alright, so there you have it. And then you've got, this set includes bolt action, stat card, water slide decal sheets, assembly leaflet, and vehicle damage markers. Contents may vary on the box, yeah, whatever. The model includes a detailed German tank commander. I'll be honest, I don't think he looks too great. He doesn't look too detailed to me. I'll just see if I can sort of zoom in there on him just so you can see it. But yeah, I'm not sure about that. He's looking pretty crap. I might just chuck my Commissar in there instead, from 40k. That'll look pretty cool. So anyway, but that's that. It's still pretty good. And yeah, this is from Warlord Games. Now, the other thing is you'll notice this logo here, it says Italiari. They're actually a standard model kit builder to my knowledge. They build do a lot of the fine scale models as well. So to my knowledge, what I think has happened here is that Warlord Games have kind of struck up a partnership with this Italiari model company to produce these kits, which I think is a good idea, because it's a lot cheaper to do that than actually go through and make your own mold and stuff. And then we have some side information. Pretty much just ads for bolt action, really, but it's still pretty cool. Right, other side of the box. So we've got, looks like we've got some kind of legend here. Okay, so it's basically showing you, I'm not 100% certain on the bolt action rules just yet, but like I know the core mechanics and everything, but in terms of, you know, every single thing in the main rule book, I'm not 100% sure. I'm learning that. That's what this vlog is all about. So, but here it's just saying, like, because you can play different theaters. So, you know, with Warhammer 40k, where it's just like, you just play it and it's any time within the, you know, the current time period. With this, it's like you have early war games, you have mid war games, you have late war games, and depending what period you're in the war, whatever technology is at the point where you can run each and every unit. So, for example, early in the war, the invasion of France, they wouldn't have had Panthers, so you can't like use them in any campaigns and stuff. That would be any sort of match play games that are France invasions and stuff like that, right? So standard stuff here, nothing too great there. And then we've got that side there, so that's the box. Yeah, so pretty cool, pretty excited. Love these kits, love building armour, especially the German stuff. Have a ball doing the camos as well. An absolute ball doing the schemes for them. So yeah. So alright, so let's have a look and open this guy up now. So I might just use this brush, hopefully here. No, maybe I can just cut. Yeah, that'll do it. There we go. Alright, I certainly don't need the box, guys, because I've got that much material on this stuff, that reference material, image material, that I don't need it. Plastic's good, nice and firm. It's good to see they put the plastic on. It's not a light kit for its size. It's weighs in quite well as well, so it's pretty cool. So let's take a look at these sprues, shall we, and see what's inside. So let's have a look. Let's pull this out. Alright, so what is all this cool stuff? What is all this cool stuff? Alright, so we have these things here which look like damage tokens or flame tokens or something. And I'm not even like into the main sprues yet, and I'm already like, oh my god, this is epic. So we've got these little counters. I think these might be like little pin counters. I know in bolt action they basically have those where it's like a pinning thing, it's a suppression thing. So if you hit a unit, if you attack a unit, even if nobody dies or nothing gets destroyed, you get like a pin, and then you have like, and then you add that up to your next move or your next attack, and you have to reduce it by 1, which I think is pretty cool. So it means you can, you know, you don't kill stuff, but you can pin stuff. So what's this? This looks like it might be some cotton wool to simulate damage. So I guess this is like maybe like light damage. So this grey cotton wool would be like light damage, and then this thick black smoke would be like heavy damage, and then this sort of like mixed bowl of whatever the hell that is, looks like fire, would be maybe just like the tank's destroyed, or it's flaming, or it's on fire, or whatever's going on. It's pretty cool. I mean, you can use that for 40k as well. So this is what I'm saying. I've got a few of those cotton wool lamp lit smoke destruction little things, which I bought off eBay, which is pretty cheap actually. I feel like $3 each or something. And they have a little button on them, and you light them up, and it creates like a little, kind of like a lit up fireball. But you know, sometimes you just don't want to be like, you know, bringing those around to your games and stuff everywhere. So I actually don't mind this little compact version here, like that. I mean, if that's what it is, I assume that that's what it is. I can't think of any other reason for it. It does say on the box here, you get damage markers. So I'd say that that would be the case. That would be what that is. Very impressed so far, guys. I haven't even got to the sprue yet. Alright, so here we have a bolt action flyer. Now, this company, Warlord Games, they have a few intellectual properties. They also have like a really cool one called like Conflict 47 or something like that, which is kind of like a mix between Warhammer and World War II. You get all this, it's like this Wolfenstein stuff. You get all this crazy, like, you know, pseudo technology, like what if the war went on and all this kind of stuff. And it looks like, what's this game here? Hail Caesar. This is like some other game they must have, like, I don't think it's Might and Reason. I'm not sure 100% what that game is there. But it looks like some sort of like, you know, Roman era game of it. And here we have just some more ads for them. So they have like a whole range of, you know, sort of sceneries and debris and things like that. For me, I think I've got enough through my Warhammer, and I'd be inclined to just buy model railroad kits and stuff like that. 3D print my own stuff, you know, design my own stuff in CAD and use those. But, you know, if it's your kind of thing, you know, there's heaps there. I believe, like, even though the scale's a little bit different, you can still use a lot of the Flames of War stuff. Like, I use the Flames of War scenery for Warhammer. You know, like just for stuff like the trees, like the rivers, all that kind of stuff. Like, as long as it doesn't affect the actual sort of core mechanics, there's no rules saying like what size a tree should be. You know, and if a tree is like, you know, 1 centimetre shorter, well, the Space Marines are just bigger. You know, so I just figure out it works out kind of like that. But yeah, but that's just me. But you know, you guys can do whatever you want. So, and I mean, look, as I said, I'm not looking to go hardcore on this. I mean, I'm probably just going to have like a German army, you know, like have a few Tigers, have a few infantry units, you know, a few friggin' SS dudes and Fallschirmjägers, whatever you call them, and basically just, you know, rock out, have a game now and then. You know, I'm not going to bother creating like a whole battle board for it. I'm just going to use my Warhammer stuff, guys, so I'm not going to go too hardcore. The kit looks very simple from the instruction manual, which is good, but yeah, so it's awesome. So it's got a lot of detail, but it's simple enough so you can just like put it together and get it going straight away. Now, in this case, because I'm a little bit of a perfectionist when it comes to painting stuff, especially World War II stuff, I'm going to have a look at this kit and see if there's a way that I can keep these tracks separate, which it looks like you can. So you basically do the tracks up together, and then you can clip them in later, which is awesome because I want to do a pretty good job of painting this stuff up. And and I want to keep the tracks separate because it becomes very hard to paint the tracks there when they're separate. Also, the wheels, it's a lot easier. Just a bit of a tip here, guys. Whenever you're painting armour, just like your tanks in 40k, like, you know, I'm not one to keep every single part separate on a model, but with tanks and stuff like that, with tracks, especially the wheels, you want to keep like the tracks off the wheels. You want to make sure that your wheels, you have access into painting your wheels, and you want to make sure that like you can get in there. I mean, in a factual thing, one of the problems was with the German tanks was that like if a wheel broke, they had to take like 10 wheels off to get to the broken wheel, right? So don't be like that with your painting. Learn from the Germans' mistakes, and actually just go through and you know, keep the wheels separate. Just glue tack them in the meantime, right? And you'll be sweet. But you can still put together the turret and all that kind of stuff as well. You can even glue the turret apparently. I'm going to keep mine loose because I want to be able to rotate mine. All right, cool. Now let's have a look. Now I was told by the guy in the shop being GameCube, that this was kind of like Warhammer scale. And I'm just interested to see if it is. Alright, so here are the sprues. And I've got to say that I'm very impressed with the size. I'm very impressed with the size. Like, see, Bolt Action, like the guy who designed Bolt Action, I was watching some videos, and I'm not sure if it's the guy who also game designed Kings of War, who was an ex-Games Workshop writer and game designer. But I know that Bolt Action was designed to be extremely cinematic. So, and I think part of doing that is by having really big models, kind of like 40k does. And I love that, because there's nothing like, to me, guys, there is absolutely nothing better than going up, you know, creating an army, painting an army, and then wiping your enemies out with that army. You know, it's like you do up a tank, you paint it all up, and you just use it and you just shoot the crap out of someone. Unless, you know, you're like me, where like you do that and you spend like, you know, a week painting a custode, you know, a squad of custodies, and they get alphaed on the first turn. So yeah, anyway, but that's okay, still fun. So here you got the wheels, they're separate. And the other thing is as well, what I've noticed is that like you've got like the actual base color for this is already black or grey, like dark grey, which is fantastic. It's not just some silly color like blue or whatever, you know. So it's actually like, it gives you a handier base coating. So in actual essence, I could go through and do a pre-shading tutorial and just add 2 colors on top of this. But I'm not going to do that. I'm actually going to do a proper pre-shading tutorial using this tank, because these tanks are actually the best things to do pre-shading for, believe it or not. If you watched my Imperial Knight video beforehand, you would have seen that as well. So Dad93527, you know, I'll do this pre-shading tutorial for you with this tank. I was going to do it using that rocket pod from the Imperial Knights, but the problem is that like it's pretty small, and it's probably better if I show you using this anyway. And it's on my roadmap anyway, so it's all good. So I'll just do this. So yeah, now you can see here you've got the Zeromite on the sides automatically there. Right, now I'm not 100% sure on that. I think that I would have liked the option to put it on or off. I suppose you can always just sand it down, but it just would have been cool to have it there option. I mean, I would have just bought my own paste and that and just done it myself, because I like to like do all the weathering and the destruction, the battle damage and that on the Zeromite anyway. So it's pretty cool. But that's it. That's that sprue. You've got the, looks like you've got the commander there as well. He actually doesn't look too bad on the sprue. He actually doesn't look too bad on the sprue. I don't know if you can actually see that. Let's have a look. Yeah, there he is. Alright, so he's alright there. So I think maybe the paint job was just a bit meh on the box, but who cares, you know. Anyway, I don't usually put the commanders on the tank anyway. I like to have the I like to have the commanders, you know, inside and the button down, the lid button down. Because, I mean, to me, I mean, bolt action, as I understand it, you basically start the match on the on the conflict point anyway. So, you know, if you know you got enemies there and you're a tank commander, it's very rare. You're not doing any more scouting, guys. Like, you're gonna button that hatch down, bring the machine gun from the top of the tank, stick it up in that front compartment there, and just get to work. You know, and that's another interesting fact. So a lot of people they think that the tanks used to have like 3 machine guns, one on the top, one in the little pintle thing on the pintle mount, the other one in the little sort of compartment down below near the driver's seat. And now some of them did, like truth be told, some of them did, but most of them, they actually used to swap that machine gun around. So for a lot of the other tanks like Panzer IVs and that, like the Tigers, so the Tigers had it, but a lot of the other tanks like Panzer IVs and all that, what they used to do is when they had a machine gun there, and what they used to do is they used to put the machine gun up on the pin up the top if there was no threats around and they were just defending against like air attacks or something like that. And what they would do is that once they got into combat and they knew there was going to be ground stuff going on, they would take that machine gun from the pintle and then bring it downstairs next to the driver's compartment, and then that would give them something to sort of rock and roll with down there. So it's pretty cool. Alright, so yeah, this is the bottom. So here we have the main hull. We've got some of the drive sockets, little hook things. The tracks are nice and separate, which is fantastic, which means we could do a lot of detail on those. And stuff like that, and I will definitely be keeping those separate. So, guys, it's not much assembly here, to be honest. It's a pretty light assembly, which is good because I'd like to get into painting this ASAP. So it's pretty good. That's it. Now, there's also a card here, so I'm going to just have a look at this card. Guys, I'm really impressed. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'm really impressed with this kit. Now, this kit was cheap. This kit in Australian money basically cost less than a Rhino, $45, right, from a shop, basically like a retail shop. So, you know, I'm pretty impressed because yeah, I'd rate that kit much higher than a Rhino with all the stuff you got in. Okay, so it shows you, like you've also got this card here, basically saying like who the item was packed by, which is crazy. So like if there's a part missing or anything. You know, you could basically send an email and say, hey Marilia S, you packed my kit, my turret is missing, right? You know, what's going on? Now you've also got the transfers here, which are awesome and they're very historically accurate. And you've even got the Papal Key SS, the SS logo with the shield and that, which I always love those logos. I mean, I know they're very bad, okay, but like, I mean, just, you know, cosmetically, like, you know, I mean, look, we all know, you know, Nazis were bad, okay, it's not a, we don't need to discuss or debate that, but, like, I don't know, their uniforms are cool, their tanks look cool, and like, yeah, my mate, well, again, Matty, a guy I always play Warhammer with, he's got a saying, and I totally agree with it, it's that, like, the guys with the best looking uniforms always lose the war. And it's like, you think about like the red coats and all that, and you know, like back in history, it's like always the guys with the worst uniforms, sorry, the best uniforms lose the war. In my opinion, same was the case for the Germans. So, you know, they obviously lost, and but I think it's you know, it's pretty, you know, there's definitely an argument to say that they had the best uniforms. Hugo Boss actually designed the a lot of the German uniforms, officers' uniforms and stuff like that. So there's a little bit of historical trivia for you. And Adam Fox, mate, now's your time to bust in on the channel with all your World War II historical knowledge, man. So you could. Now's the time to correct me. Now's the time to put a thing. So because I know we always talk about this stuff before, but yeah. So cool. And then you've got like this stat card, or what I believe to be a stat card. So again, look, I won't be able to tell you much about the mechanics or the points costs or anything like that just yet, because I'm still learning it myself. So I don't know the comparisons. I heard a Panzer Faust is like 5 points or something. So that's about all I know so far. But it says here, so I'll read this out because I can't get around the camera. German media tank. German media tank. It's a media tank, yeah. Channel, yeah, Fox News Panther. No, German medium tank. So an inexperienced one will cost you 284 points. A regular experienced one will cost you 355 points. And a veteran unit of this will cost you 426 points. Now, to my understanding, the way it kind of works is basically that, like in bolt action, things are divided up in, like, you know, the different tiers of experience. And you know, obviously, as that card has shown, the more experienced that the unit is, the more expensive they are. But it also means they're more survivable. So from memory, it's like normal infantry will, like, they'll be like on a +3 to hit. Regular infantry, they'll be like on a +4 to hit. Veteran infantry, you know, will be like on a 5+ to hit. And there's all these other rules as well, like there's leadership stuff. It's actually a really fantastic rule set. Anyway, so that's that. So let's have a look at this card now. I love that snow camo scheme as well. Like that snow camo scheme is epic. So we'll have a look at that. I'm just going to grab the card so I can read it. So options for, so it's tracked, no transport, DV9. Now, I'm not sure what DV9 plus is. I think that was its penetration. Like I said, guys, I'm still learning the rules, so please forgive me. Options may add additional pintle mounted MG for 15 points. So it comes with one, you can add a third one, right? So it's pretty much like what I was saying before. The other thing is, before I forget as well, I think, like, I'm not 100% sure, I have to cross-reference it, but I'm pretty sure that, like, the Zeramite is going the wrong way on this tank. It looks like the Zeramite is going, like, vertically. I'm pretty sure it used to go horizontally, but anyway, whatever. You know, who's counting? Special rules, the Panther's heavy frontal armour has a rating of +1, making it the same frontal value as a heavy tank, which is a 10+. So that basically means you've got to roll like a 10+ to hit it, which is pretty strong. And it has the Tiger Fear special rule. Awesome. I have no idea what that does, guys, but Tiger Fear sounds good to me. Weapons, super heavy anti-tank gun, range 84, shots 1, penetration +7, special He 3. Not sure what that He 3 means. Now, also, like, from what I know, anything that's... Things get bonuses for being in half range in this game. So, like, if you're hitting something on a long range, I think it's like a +1 a hit. But it looks like this tank negates that, because you've got a +1. And also as well, with 84 range, that's like longer than a las cannon. So you still, as long as you're hitting stuff in like 40, what is it, 84, so 42, you should be good as well. So it's really, and then you got the machine gun, which is range 36, 6 shots, penetration dash, so it's got no pen. But I believe there was a special rule with the Germans in this game, something about the machine guns being... not re-rolls, or I think they were one extra dice per machine gun because they were like Germans and they light machine gun infantry, so it probably doesn't go with this one. So we got special helmet mounted and pintle weapons. All right, so cool. All right, so look, all in all, that was my first ever bolt action kit. Alright, an unboxing of the kit, and I must say I'm pretty freaking impressed. I'm pretty impressed indeed, and I'm going to be very excited to put this together. I don't think I'm going to do an assembly tutorial of putting this together. It's just, there's just not enough there. It'll be like a 2-minute video, but what I will do, I'll do a pre-shading video. Alright, so I'll do a pre-shading video. So, but what I'll do is I'll just stick the instructions here, so like for documentation reasons, if anyone needs a copy of the instructions for this kit or gets a kit, you know, that doesn't have instructions, you can reference this video, and I can even go back and reference this video. There have been heaps of times where I'm like, oh, you know, like I lost that instruction kit for something because I've moved and I was like halfway through assembling something, and I'm like, damn it, you know. But anyway, cool. So right, that's that video there, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed it. Let me know in the comments your thoughts and stuff, and you know, what you think of this kit, if you think it's good value, you know. What do you think of the Panther as a unit if you played it in bolt action games? And yeah, if you're not a subscriber and you've enjoyed the video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Click the little bell notification icon as well. Really helps us out when you do that. And I'll see you all in the next video. Take care, everybody. Awesome.